building those assets one step at a time, which I think just makes sense. When you come to, you talked a little bit about the idea of looking for that low-hanging fruit as well. So once we get the content generating, perhaps just the step before that is also identifying on your website where that low-hanging fruit is. What are the pages where they're currently driving, or traffic is being driven to the website from that page, but it's not in position number 1 yet. Some of the things that people do is, with PageRank sculpting and linking to internal target pages to try and lift those up. I'm just interested to get your thoughts on if that's a strategy that you implement for some of your clients, or...
Okay, and this is getting to sort of some technical tic-tacs now, but the thing that I am a believer in, and there is difference of opinion in the market on this, and so I accept that people may not all agree with this, is a thing called first link priority. So first link priority basically says, if I've got 2 pages on my website, remembering that a link from one page to another is a link. It doesn't actually matter whether that link is from 2 pages within your website or from an external page. We need the external links because they build up the overall power of what we're doing, but linking from one page to another correctly within your site still carries weight. And so if I've got one of my pages linking to a second page, often what will happen within the context of a website, you'll actually have multiple links from page A to page B, and you say, well, why would I do that? Well, let's say that this is my home page. And let's say this is one of my main category pages. This is going for a specific keyword. My category page will link back to my home page, often on the logo. The logo itself will be a link. I'll have a home link on my menu bar, and I might have even put in a keyword specific link in the footer of the page. I've actually got 3 links from this category page back to my home page. One of the challenges you've got in that space is if the keyword that when Google looks at the source code of the page, it just looks straight down the source code. And if you're a little trick on this, if you're using Firefox, there's a thing called the Web Developers Toolbar, and if you turn off JavaScript and CSS, and under the Miscellaneous tab there's a thing called Linearized Page, which will get rid of all your tables as well. You can literally see your page in the way that Google sees it. It just strips out all the formatting and you see it exactly how Google sees it. And if the first link from my category page back to my home page is actually my logo, and then the second one and the third one are the keywords, those anchor text rich keywords that I was going for, that to me, my experience has been that it has helped my ranking when I get the first link to be an anchor text appropriate link. And so what we'll often do is there are certain tricks you can do with CSS where you actually put the logo up there, but that logo is being, either through CSS or JavaScript, is being placed there as a replacement for a regular link. And that regular link, when the JavaScript and the CSS is not executed by the Googlebot, is actually what's linking back to your homepage. And so, in terms of the trickery that we apply with links in a site, that's a really easy template change that can many times give you a kick. There are more advanced techniques like a thing called PageRank sculpting. PageRank sculpting basically is the notion that if you've got 10 links on your site, on a page, and remember, by the time you've got navigation and so forth, often you've got 50 links on a page, but let's say you've got 10 links on a page, 1/10 of that page's power is shared out through each of the 10 links. And so if you've got links going off to essentially irrelevant pages, like the Contact Us page or other pages that you've got on your site, then, what you're doing is each of those pages is sharing power out to those essentially irrelevant pages. And so what you can do under that scenario is actually hide those links by using, say, JavaScript links or something else. The reality is we don't mess with that. I've only got one client that has a large enough site, that guy with the one with the 1.4 million pages, where we're playing a little bit in that space because they really are looking to play with the on-page tweaks, because building links into a 1.4 million page site is a bit of a tough challenge. But for the person that's got 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000 pages, to date, we have been focusing more on link building and just getting the basic structure right. We haven't been doing a lot of PageRank sculpting.
Yeah, I reckon that's... I would have to agree. Yeah. I think it all comes down to the volume of pages.
Yeah.
If you're only dealing with a few, you don't have enough to channel.
Yeah,
there's not enough juice there.
Yeah. So, but there are people that I respect that are very good at that and simply know more about it than I do. In our world, the reality is, in many cases, you are wrangling the client to move from 10 to 50 pages. And so going from 10 to, unless you're running, that's one of the inherent benefits of an e-commerce store. An e-commerce store forces the client to produce content because they have to have e-commerce pages.
Yeah.
So it actually forces the creation of content.
And that's why you see usually bigger sites online win.
Absolutely.
Because you look at something like Wikipedia, Amazon.
Yep.
I think the reason that they win, especially Wikipedia, that's a good example of that internal PageRank funneling that we're talking
Absolutely
about.
flowing around.
It's all
Yeah.
sort of moving around.
It does appear that Google likes big sites.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been an adherent to the theory that, you know, it wouldn't matter if your site was one site or 20 sites spread across a bunch of different domains. It's actually about the amount of content and the link link flow. But I am getting the impression more and more that, all else being equal, Google likes big sites.
Yeah. So I suppose to wrap up the different points that you went across, a client or when you're starting out a keyword research campaign, obviously you're first going to determine whether or not we're working with a new site or if we're working with an existing site. If it's a new site, then you just start it and you'll do all your keyword research. Market Samurai's got some awesome free training under the dojo, and that's where you can start if it's a new site. Otherwise, existing, go for those low-hanging fruit.
And then go and do the plan. Go and do because keyword research will flesh out new opportunities. And often cases, you know, you'll present keyword research either when you're looking at your own stuff or if you're presenting it to a client. You'll go, okay, yeah, we can, with some basic tweaks, we can get you some wins up front here. But look at all this field of opportunity that you're not even tapping into. So that's where the external research comes. And we kind of, if we're doing external, the thing that's important to realise as well is, to me, there's sort of different hierarchies of keywords. There's the keyword that you go for on your homepage, or you know the set of tightly related phrases that you go for on your homepage. Then there's the main keyword you're going to go for on your category pages. And then underneath those, there's the long tails that have typically got less traffic but really low competition. I mean, many times you'll find keywords that if you just build an optimized page, you'll rank for. You'll get that traffic. So, it's not just it does operate at the levels, and I think one of the things that is important to realise is when you plan out your keyword strategy, pick what's going to go for your homepage, pick what's going to go for your main category pages, pick what your long tails are, and then kind of focus an appropriate amount of attention on each. Now, for the long tail ones, it's like just whack up a page, spend a minute on a description, get your title tag right, move on. You know what I mean? Don't agonise on that. But the homepage, you know, if that's really going for that big keyword, then you want to spend a bit of time to get that right.
Mapping out that structure, I think that's really key. And then you then after that, you moved on to the idea, obviously, we need to generate the content and have the pages that'll match that keyword research that you do.
Yes.
And then you also build in, the link building campaign and stuff like that. So really, when you break it down, the whole keyword research and building websites, it's a lot of people make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be.
Absolutely. And one of the things, there's a guy that I listen to basically everything he's ever put out by the name of Leslie Rowe, and one of the things that he sort of has drummed, not that I've had dinner with him a couple of times, but through more of listening to his materials, that he has drummed in to my brain is there's 20 or 30% of SEO that's really technical and involved and tricky and everything else, and geeks like me love to dig into that stuff and find it out. But the reality is, if you had two people and someone only knew the 70 or 80%, and they just did twice the volume of that, they would crush the guy that knew the 20%. Knowing the 100% is not the important thing, it's actually how much you do. And if you just knew the 70 or 80%, which we've actually just covered now, structure, links, content, like it literally takes 15 minutes to teach someone. If you just do lots of that, you'll do really well.
Yeah.